Today, let's talk about the 12 biggest downsides or cons to buying new construction. Many prospective homeowners dream of buying a brand new house or having one built to their specifications. But a number of the disadvantages come along with the excitement of owning a home in which nobody else has lived in. In fact, a brand new house may not always what you want it to be. Now, you may hear the downsides and say, hey, I can live with those. And still, you want to buy a new construction home. But at least you know the negative sides of new construction. Now, you won't want to miss my funny and embarrassing story that goes along with downside number 10. So be sure to watch until then. My name is Serafino-Lee, and I am a realtor in the San Francisco East Bay. I love it when people reach out to me. My information is in the description below. Okay, let's start with those 12 reasons. Number 1, new houses cost more. The market value on existing homes is based on square footage, location, and quality. But when you buy a new construction home, you're not only paying for those things, but you're also on the hook for additional construction costs, which are going to include the cost of utilities, driveways, sidewalks, and sewer lines being installed. These pricey items can boost the final cost of a new house 15 to 20% higher than the cost of a similar existing home. Number 2 is going to be the lack of trees. New subdivisions are notorious for their barren appearance. Often the homes have baby trees every few homes and lots of bushes to make it pretty. It takes years for trees to grow, so if you're picturing your dream home nestled beneath tall oak trees, you might look for an existing home in an established neighborhood with mature trees. If you think that you're going to go out and buy a big tree, maybe you need to look at the cost on that and the fact that you have to rent a full-size backhoe. But if you do, call me because I've always wanted to try driving one. I have a little bit of experience. Number 3 is that change orders on new construction can be costly. Changes in construction, or what they call change orders, they can cost you money that you did not anticipate. When you're having a new home built, your contractor may allow you to make some changes on the fly during the construction process. So don't do it unless you absolutely have to. Change orders, even when the change seems minimal, for instance, can add thousands of dollars to your final cost. An example might be that you saw another house that had a certain railing that you like better than your house is going to have. So you switch it from maybe a wood porch railing to a metal railing during the process. And this is called a change order. And so it's going to cost you more than if you had made that choice before construction had started. Number 4, there is limited choice of new home builders. If you have your heart set on a certain lot at the end of a cul-de-sac in a new subdivision, you might not be able to choose your builder. If you want to live in a particular city, you are limited to the builders that are building there at the moment, which means that you are limited to their home plans and their finishes. Locally here in the San Francisco East Bay, we have about 5 to 6 big builders that are pretty consistent in building in these areas. They are going to be KB Homes, Landsea, Toll Brothers, Lennar, Pulte Homes, and Shea Homes. These seem to be at least the biggest ones I can remember off the top of my head. And there are definitely other smaller and very qualified builders out there, and many are outstanding. But if you want a certain builder, you're gonna have to go where they build. Number 5, new construction has Mello-Roos, which can add hundreds to your mortgage. While in established neighborhoods, the streets, the streetlights, the gutters, the drain storms, they're already paid for. And in new developments, the homeowner is going to absorb a portion of those costs, of those big infrastructure elements. A big one that's an additional cost that people really don't think about is schools. As we are building all of these new neighborhoods and communities, the schools are going to need to expand for the increase in children that are going to be attending these local schools that live in these new neighborhoods. These additional costs are called specials, or in some other places, Mello-Roos, and they can increase your monthly mortgage payment by about $200 or more, and I've seen it. So be sure to ask if there is an additional fee each month that's going to need to be paid. I know of one community that's around $400 in Mello-Roos a month. Number 6, new construction can have a longer commute time. New developments are often located on the distant edges of established towns where there are large tracts of bare land where it's still available, basically. This means that new houses are going to be farther away from business districts, shopping, and schools, potentially, resulting in longer commute times and less free time. Number 7 is new homes often have smaller lots. While some new developments feature spacious, large lots, let me tell you that those larger lots are, first of all, going to cost you a lot more. But by and large, most new home lots are much smaller than those in older neighborhoods. The builders are trying to fit as many homes as they can on the one plot of land that they purchased. Of course, they want to make all the money that they possibly can. This means that there's going to be less yard space for the kids to play in and less spaces between the houses. Recently, I was driving in a new construction neighborhood, and it seemed like the driveways and the front of the homes were barely the length of any car, maybe a smart car. Number 8 in new construction is contractor callbacks. What is the contractor callback? It is like a recall on a car, basically. That's how I liken it. It's a fact of new construction. There's going to be a few bugs that are going to need to be worked out after the house is finished. These problems, which might include outlets that don't work, or ceilings that develop mysterious cracks, or sinks that dip, all of these things require calling back the contractor. In existing homes, these type of bugs were already worked out long ago. Although older homes, they come with a new set of maintenance items that they have themselves, and sometimes headaches also. These same things might happen, but it's because of age, and in new homes, it could be bad installation, or maybe that didn't function in the first place. Number 9 is building delays in new construction. This is just a fact of any construction. Let's just say that we have an unusually rainy winter season. This can turn a 6-month construction job into an ordeal that lasts a year or more. Maybe the plumber is backed up and can't get to the job at the time that he or she said that they could. This is going to back up everybody else that comes in after them. But let's be honest, building delays are common, and they're also frustrating, especially if you've sold your home and you have to rent an apartment or wherever, Airbnb, until your new home is complete. When it comes to new construction, the timelines are definitely fluid. Number 10 is that new homes have a lack of character, and here's my funny story. But if you love the allure and romance of an older home, you may not be thrilled with cookie cutter houses that is the look in residential new developments. Sure, the house next to it is going to be a different color or maybe even a different style than the one directly next to it, but go down 3 houses and you're gonna see the same exact house. In some subdivisions, the homes all look so similar that you could accidentally pull into the wrong driveway. Hint, hint. And here's my funny story. My husband and I, we were invited to a friend's house for a Halloween costume party one year. We had a long drive, so we decided to eat in the car on the way, and then we were going to change there. So I pull into the driveway to change my outfit, and let me just tell you, it's quite a contortionist type of thing in their driveway. After all, I didn't want to show up to the front door and say, hey, can I come in, change my clothes, put my costume on? My husband and I were going as hippies that year. So after we had on our tie-dyes, I put the headband on and my hair was like nicely parted in the middle, we went up to the front door. We rang that doorbell, and needless to say, my mouth dropped open when my friend did not answer the door. There was no music in the background, there was no party in the background, and that was really my giveaway where I was like, these new homes had really fancy and apparently unreadable numbers on the front doors, and they all looked the same. When I realized I had parked in front of the wrong house and I had seriously changed in their driveway, I was so embarrassed. I think I had 50 Shades of Purple and I just walked away. And still to this day, I really hope that they didn't have cameras in their driveway. So we ended up backing the car up, driving only three houses down into the entry of the real party. So let's get on to number 11 con is strict regulations of these new home communities. Older neighborhoods tend to be more relaxed when it comes to a property, such as adding a storage shed or building a new fence. New subdivisions, on the other hand, they often come with covenants, or they are governed by homeowners associations, or what we call HOAs. These are going to stipulate everything from the type of siding that you can install and whether or not you are allowed to have a vegetable garden in your yard. Let me also add here that with these regulations, many home developments will landscape your front yard, but not your backyard. They usually tell you, they give you a certain amount of time, and usually about 6 months, to landscape your backyard to their specifications. And believe me, they are there. And there's usually an inspection to prove that you've done it. Number 12 is noisy neighbors. And let me be honest, I don't mean people. Well, in a way. For months or even years after you move in, a new subdivision can be noisy as construction on the other houses is ongoing. Be prepared for daytime hours filled with sounds of hammers and saws and heavy equipment. So don't let these things detract you from buying a new home. To some people, these are very minor, but to some, it can be a deal breaker. Some people don't even like new homes. But if you do think that you're interested in a new construction home,
don't go alone.
The new home sales representative, as nice as they are, represent the home builders. And they have the home builders' interest at heart. Of course, they're going to help you and they're going to be nice to you. But remember who they represent. A realtor can go with you and help represent you and your best interests. So, how much does it cost you? Nothing. So, if you are interested in any home, new, old, big, mid-size, small, extra large homes, call me. My contact information is listed in the description below. My team and I, we live right here in the East Bay. We live here, we work here, and we love it here. And we want you to love where you live too. If you like this video, you might like this video or this video, and be sure to subscribe to my channel here. See you on the next one.